When you build up good credit with somebody, every once in a while, you then deserve a pass. Okay. I probably went to sleep last night like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, still up 5 a.m. this morning, and then here on stream at 6 o'clock, man. So if I ever slack or miss a morning, I need a pass. I'm building up great credit with y'all. If I don't got no excuses, then Jesus. But while I was up, why did I get like 4 hours of sleep? I went to the Kendrick concert last night, the Kendrick and SZA GNX tour. I got a lot of feedback for y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all how I felt, the overall energy in the building. I was one of the bots on deck. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you how I felt about the seats. Was it sold out? Was it not sold out? The flow of the show, the songs that they did, the overall production. Um, we'll get to that. You also see in the thumbnail and you also see in the title, Lil Durk's Bond update. Are they tricking us? Are they tricking us is going to be a theme within this particular stream. Okay. It's a lot of chess moves, a lot of tactical related stuff that's going on. So we're gonna take a look at the United States government responding to how they feel about the upcoming bond request and bond hearing for Little Durk. Okay. We also got updates for Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe and the Tony Buzbee war will continue on for quite some time. Tony Buzbee, I believe, released a statement saying that they will not be putting out that damning evidence, that 30-second clip that Shannon Sharpe tried to get in front of. I got some angles to discuss about that. So we're going to read up on that. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the Fat Joe situation. Is that extortion, or is he in trouble for something that maybe he's caught up doing allegedly that he shouldn't have done? We'll try to decipher that. Or decipher that, even though it's a little early. But we'll take a look. You got the Mary J. Blige lawsuit that just came down the pike. What is going on, man? Lawsuit city, man. Sue me. I don't got nothing for you, man. I ain't got no. You want? I get about 5-10 grand your way. You know what I'm saying? If that's life changing money to you, so be it. We're gonna both pay that in lawyers and lawyer fees. That's all I got for you. All right. Let's start working, y'all. And where are we gonna start today? Let's start with Little Durk. All right. Let's start with Little Durk. So let's go into the paperwork, and then I want to go to the post, the Free Durk post and statement that he put up on his gram, and we'll break that down as well. But as far as the paperwork you see here, all right. So you got the United States, still versus Little Durk, aka Dirk Banks, his real name Mustafa Abdul Malak. His Muslim name, I believe, aka Blood. I've never heard him called Blood before. I've heard him called Smirky. I don't see those in here, but yeah, this is nothing new. Government's opposition to defendant Banks' application for reconsideration of detention order. Okay, so they're going after it, and what did we expect? We thought that beautiful write up that Dirk submitted about the tainted alleged grand jury was going to be the end of it. No, sir. Memorandum points and authorities introduction. What do we got here? Defendant is charged with directing 6 hitmen to travel across the country to hunt and kill his rival TB. Once again, that's Quando Rondo's cousin. Defendant allegedly orchestrated and financed the brazen murder plot that culminated with shooters ambushing TB's vehicle at a busy gas station, broad daylight, killing SR. I'm sorry, TB was Quando Rondo, and SR is the cousin. My bad. Which is Lil Pab. So we know the story a million times over, but just to see the intro opening up like that, and I think that's very, very tactical, and that's very important if you're fighting from the government side, because I'm human just like the rest of y'all, and we saw this bond hearing news come up, and you know what our focus was? Our focus was the alleged tainted grand jury over the song that was released, right? With Quando Rondo screaming that no, that's what we focused on. And what does the government do? They pull us right back and say, no, 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 no. Let's remind each other while we're here. We're not going to start discussing songs and music and try to focus on that. I want you guys to remember that this was a brazen shooting by alleged sent murder for hire. So even opening up the intro like that, I'm just like, oh, damn. Because watch this. Let me put this out there to the chat. Do you believe that Little Durk is 85% innocent? If your answer is yes, then forget all of this stuff that the government is putting in front of us right now and just focus on the song, right? If you believe that he's maybe 50% innocent or less, then what the fuck do we care about the music for? A lot of chess moves here. A lot of chess moves here. So let's continue with the paperwork. I don't need the rest of that, do I? Following the detention hearing in December 2024, the court ordered defendant detained based on being a flight risk and ongoing danger. So they're always going to paint the picture of him being powerful. He has money. If they're saying that he sent hits before, and remember, they also unsealed the indictment that was before that, which is an alleged murder for hire retaliation over his brother D thing. So they're saying he's powerful. So to be outside, you're a risk to society. You're a risk to others. You're maybe a risk to witnesses. You know, you're also a flight risk. They're claiming that they caught you when you was trying to do the race, right? I still believe a little bit more Lil Durk side based on the evidence that they submitted that he wasn't necessarily taking the race. Well, then again, let me not be too naive there. They had some good evidence that showed that he wasn't doing the race, but at the same time, it was just too convenient. The day after the other OTF members got grabbed, and all of a sudden you jumping across seas, timing hurts sometimes. Let's be real. All right, so they already got him as being a flight risk, and they claim they picked him up while he was on a race. So yeah, but the timing of defendant's lyrics and whether or not he commercialized his violence through rap, which he did, has little to no bearing on the detention analysis before the court. The issue here is a narrow one. Has the defendant presented new information not known to him in December 2024 that has material bearing on whether he should be detained pending trial? The answer is no. The government respectfully requests that the court summarily deny defendant's application for reconsideration. So did he present new evidence as far as the shooting? No, not that I've seen on his docket, and not that we've known. Did he present new evidence about was he rapping and taunting or admitting to an alleged crime via that song with Quando Rondo's voice screaming no? Well, government is saying, obviously, they brought that into the grand jury, and he's saying, no, I got engineers saying that these screenshots and this song was recorded prior to the shooting. So once again, people pay attention. We're being split at some points between the song and the actual shooting. And the government is saying, no. I don't want to do that. And then on top of that, you're not presenting any new evidence as to why we really, really want you in jail. Not for making music, but committing a murder for hire, allegedly, right? If you make music innocently and you don't kill anybody or hurt anybody or break any laws or commit any crimes, and you're rapping to the heavens and earth about breaking the laws and committing crimes and murders and whatnot, but you never do it, nobody cares. The government doesn't care. Right. Well, maybe they don't like the music, right? You saw what happened at NWA. But I mean, you're not going to end up indicted behind something that you have nothing to do with. And that's the whole thing about reality rap, drill music versus the people that sometimes we actually make fun of or we denounce. The rappers that rap about it but don't live it. So which one is it, people? Like, I know there's a little bit of like confliction that we go through as we watch some of these motions and we listen to some of these rappers. Do we believe them? And then conveniently we don't when shit hits the fan? Or do we not believe them? And it's free Durk because all of this shit is false. I know a lot of it's going to be free Durk regardless because a lot of people don't like to wish jail on people, right? But I think I was very, very understanding to their motion for bond the other day. And I feel like I'm being checked right now. Not saying that I'm for or against his bond. I just feel like me personally, I'm being checked. All right. The indictment and defendant's attempt to flee on October 17, 2024, the grand jury sitting in the Central District of California returned to an indictment charging 5 of defendants, co-conspirators with crimes arising from the murder, including murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death in violation of code, yada, yada, yada. Defendant was identified as co-conspirator 1 throughout the indictment, which listed defendant's involvement in the murder scheme, including the allegation that he told co-conspirators that he would pay a bounty for TB's murder. See, that's the one I want you to contradict, Durk. Contradict, any information about paying for bounties, or contradict that text message that said, "Don't put my name on no flights." Don't contradict the song. You know what I'm saying? I think the song is a piece of things. And you want to know how, if you guys really, really remember our streams, how I'm consistent there? Because I've said many times, even from the initial indictment being released when the news first broke, I said, when they want to tell me about that song, Green Light, go, 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 look at that screaming, no, no, like all of that. When I saw that, I said, remember, to me personally, I don't work for the government, but that ain't the worst song as far as him allegedly incriminating himself for murder for hires, for murders, period, for street activity, whatever. He's got videos that are subbing FBG Cash murder. He's got stuff talking about D-Thing's murder and retaliation for that. What's the name of the hood that he says he's at war with? Allegedly, that's tied to the shooters of D-Thing. Oh shit, my mind's going blank on it. But he raps about them, his ops. You know what I'm saying? He fully raps about them. King Von, nobody thinks that he's an angel, right? There's justifications to hit that documentary from Trap Lord Ross hitting the internet and saying hip hop's for a serial killer. Okay, there's justifications for it. We love his music, but we got to be real. We got to be real. So Lil Durk got a lot of incriminating music out there, right? Disputing that one piece of Quando Rondo's voice in that particular track. What about all the other stuff? So I'm just being honest with myself, people. I'm just being honest. I gotta say the things that we think, but we're just scared to say because we feel like it's not hip hop culture correct. All right. Defendant was identified as co-conspirator 1. All right. In the early hours in October 24th, 2024, federal and local law enforcement executed multiple search warrants at locations associated with members of defendant's organization, Only the Family, or OTF, in the Chicago area, and arrested 5 charged co-conspirators. Okay. Soon after law enforcement executed the warrants, the FBI learned that defendant had been booked on 3 international flights, including at least one to a non-extradition country. Defendant skipped the first 2 flights and was arrested when he showed up to board a private jet scheduled to leave the United States a short time later. So being that this is also going to be a big piece of whether he gets bond or not, right? Let's just jump back to that. Remember some of the details. We brought up a lawyer's take on that months ago. And we had a lawyer that said he has defendants that he's worked with in the past. And if they're not sure if there is FBI investigation around them or what their status is, they may book a flight or 2 just to see if the alarm goes off. And he said, in which case he may get a call from, like, let's say a local agency or FBI agents to say, hey, I just want to let you know your client just booked a flight and we don't want him to leave the country. Right. So he said, booking those multiple flights, some people could say, A, it was to throw off his destination. That lawyer gave a take saying, B, it could be to just check, like, oh shit, yesterday 5 of my guys got arrested and indicted. Let me book a bunch of flights to see if maybe I could set off an alarm. And if they on me too, who's co-conspirator number 1? Is that me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's number 2. I mean, the third one on Durk's side, he presented information saying that he was taking one of his religious pilgrimage and everything. And 1 or 2 of those flights, I think, was like a layover. Right. So where you stand with that is where you stand with that. I think there's arguments on both sides. Okay. The prosecution and the government and the feds ain't stupid. So they're going to put great arguments together as to, like, no. Lil Durk was doing this. And then Lil Durk's money is buying the best. And his defense is going to put together fights that are going to say, no. We weren't trying to run from you. We had nothing going on with y'all. We was just trying to go over here and shop and do our religious thing. Or this was a layover flight up there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's for us to decipher. both sides are going to tell us why they're right. Right? So, I mean, come on. Okay, so the whole evasion thing. Um, Defendant is ordered to be detained. Yep. So then he was detained after. We got that. And then after he was detained, that's when they unsealed the second indictment for the D thing, alleged murder for hire. After considering the evidence, the court ordered defendant detained based on flight risk and ongoing danger to the community. The court subsequently issued a thorough written detention order. As the danger, the court detailed the allegations against defendant included that the co-conspirators acting at defendant's direction traveled to Los Angeles, tracked, stalked, and attempted to kill TB by gunfire, including a fully automatic firearm in broad daylight in a busy Los Angeles intersection, and did kill a family member of the target who was traveling with him. And I say that text message about don't put my names on no flights, right? There's another one that was in the paperwork and in the indictment, right? Which was OTF credit cards linked back to Lil Durk that were used to purchase those ski masks once they got local, right? And this is also where all the like the Brick Baby stuff comes in, right? Now, if they say Lil Durk and one of the alleged shooters was on the same private flight, and the rest of them guys flew commercial. But even still, you see that all the time. You get to where you're at. If you didn't drive, you might have to pick up some things, because you don't necessarily want to fly with. Like if I'm on these commercial flights and I'm going for that, I'm going to LA for that. I don't know if I'm checking in my suitcase, a bunch of ski masks that I might want to use, or gloves, or you might want to pick that up locally. Or I don't know if I want to travel with my guns, even if I can legally fly with my guns, or if I'm private and I got guns on my private flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, still, I might want to get local and just be, hey, such and such. Once again, that's where brick names comes in. Hey, I need this, I need that. Let me go to the store over here, cop these ski masks. And they have those transactions. So not the guns, but but the ski mask. So I don't know. It's tough. The court also relied on evidence that this was not defendant's first murder for hire plot. Here we go. In a separate matter in Chicago, defendant is alleged to have engaged in similar conduct that is offered money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder. We don't need to read the rest of that. I just brought that up. Yeah, so this is all right. Defendant's application fails to offer any new evidence, much less evidence that is material to the detention analysis. The detention hearing may be reopened only if the judicial officer finds that information exists that was not known to the movant. What is that at the time? Is that supposed to be motive like at the time of the hearing, and that has a material bearing on the issue whether there are conditions of release that will reasonably assure that appearance of such person as required and the safety of any other person and the community. Well, I'll tell you this. One thing I do believe in Lil Durk's defense is whether you feel like he's a danger to society or to the community or not. If he's a danger in there right now, he's also a danger when he gets out. Now, the increased danger is that you feel like these people could have more access to unmonitored and you know conversation. So you know getting on these jail calls and trying to speak in code, or like, you're fucked, right? So that would be where I would say, if I'm on the government side, now he can conduct more tainting of the jury pool, and witness intimidation, and phone calls to cover up this, and I can see that, right? But I could tell you one, Lil Durk is he ain't moving a muscle as far as activating in the streets or calling upon any street shit while he's going through this from this point forward. There's no fucking way. It's not even just about him at this point. He probably needs all of his people to stay out of trouble. That's probably been the message back home. Everybody sit your ass down. Nobody get in trouble, especially if you're walking around with an OTF tattoo. We don't need none of that shit right now, because I'm the one that's sitting here and they're going to bring this shit right on me. So I don't think he's going to move a muscle if you do give him a bond package, or bail. And remember, he was already denied. Now he's coming back. So that gives him even that much more precedence to say, During this whole trial and everything, not only can I fuck up my trial and my freedom, you know what I'm saying? But this was like I had to fight even to get here for this second opportunity. So I would say that you ain't gonna see too much, right? Or then you'd be super stupid. Then you just put the bracelets right back on yourself and say, "Nah, I just want to go serve a life term." Um, all right. Courts have interpreted this provision strictly, holding the hearing should not be reopened if the evidence was available at the time of the initial hearing. All right. So that makes sense. I mean, that's not what Dirk is fighting right now to say the information about this, all this Quando Rondo stuff and the engineering. Yeah, we did see the screenshots from the engineer saying this was the date of it. Yet he was still denied bond back then. So does this feel like new evidence that Dirk is submitting to us? They may have gotten maybe additional, information on it. Like I don't remember reading the Babyface's side saying we co-signed this was all recorded prior and all. I don't remember that. But we absolutely brought up here months ago the paperwork showing the exhibits of the screenshots of the alleged music files dated before the shooting. So is this really new to us? Or is this more so Lil Durk using that to say grand jury is tainted? Hmm. Hmm. All right. Um, Tellingly, defendant's application does not even reference the court's analysis on danger or flight. So they don't talk about, doing a race. It does not explain how defendant's lyrics or fan-made videos undermine the interference that defendant, who has considerable resources, attempted to leave the United States upon learning of the arrest of his co-conspirators, or that defendant uses his money, influence, power to danger individuals whom he perceives as a threat, nor could it. At the hearing, defense counsel raised this exact issue of the timing of defendant's lyrics. The court made clear that the lyrics were not material to its detention analysis. That's a bomb right there. If the initial detention decision was that it wasn't based on the lyrics, then don't try to think that you're going to win me over with the lyrics now. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That's tough. Let's go to this post that Dirk put up. Let's bring this up for a second. Let's check this out. The recent developments, Dirk's legal case have what brought a harsh truth to light. The government presented false evidence to a grand jury to indict him. Okay. This is injustice. That's a violation of the very system that's supposed to protect us all. Okay. Dirk has always used music to tell stories, to express pain, to heal, and yet those same lyrics are now being used against him. We refuse to stay silent as Black artists continue to be criminalized for their creativity. Rap is art. This ain't about the lyrics, homie. Once again, talk to me about those credit card transactions. Talk to me about those text messages about the flight. Talk to me about your flight charter to LA with you and one of the other members that they have in custody right now. Talk to me about the other members that are in custody right now. Talk to me about Quando Rondo being targeted in a shooting. Why was he targeted there? Why were you in town? Why did some of your co-conspirators allegedly fly back like the day after or some shit from different airports? Like we see what's happening here. I ain't mad at Dirk and his defense team. I'm just being real. They're trying to spin this into a cultural and a hip hop attack. Forget all the shooting stuff and the alleged beef that I'm in with these people in the slot for Vaughn and all that type of stuff. These text messages, the credit card stuff. Forget all of that. I just need my bond because the grand jury has some lyrics that I'm saying was recorded prior. And we read the paper. They said they didn't address none of this other stuff. How about, the fact that it looked like he was running the day after? See the spin that they're doing, man. Yeah, Little Dirt, you're trying to well, your legal team is trying to trick us right now. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. As a family, we are asking the public, the fans, and the culture to stand with us stand for truth, stand for fairness, stand for the voice. So me personally, I don't stand nowhere against or with in situations like this. I respect the call for help because if I was in the situation, God forbid, which I would never be involved in an alleged murder for hire, right? But allegedly or hypothetically, if I ever was involved in something like this, yes, I probably call for help in the public as well. The public's opinion court that's held in the public from perception could weigh some of the outcome of what you think is about to be in your bond hearing. But me, as far as Lil Durk's alleged actions, I stand nowhere. I don't stand with him. I don't stand against him. When the trial starts, it's going to be up to all of them to prove innocent or guilty. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. I ain't for murder. Not saying that he has been involved in murder. I don't know. We're going to figure this all out. Things don't look good, but we're going to figure this all out. But I don't stand with murder. I don't believe in taking one's life. I believe life is precious. So this call to action is not for me because I don't believe that this is over an attack on hip hop or freedom of expression for music. I don't believe that that's what this is about. This is about, all right, whatever. We know what's going on. Free Durk. Shout out to Durk, man. Shout out to Durk. Like I said, I take no stance on it. If he gets a bond, shout out to him. If he doesn't, I'm not shocked. I take no stance on it. Okay. I'll give you an example of real quick before we move on to Shannon Sharpe of what happens when you take a stance. DJ Vlad did an interview with Quando Rondo, and he is in full support and in full belief that this whole beef between King Von, NBA YoungBoy, Quando Rondo, Lil Pab, Lil Tim, Lil Durk is all rooted in egotistical BS where lives did not have to be lost. And that probably has a lot of truth to it. So when he interviewed Quando Rondo, he became a voice for him. Like, I believe, he's been saying, like, I believe the allegations on Lil Durk are disgusting. I'm not rooting for him. He's been pretty anti-Durk, right? And that's fine because from the premise of saying, I don't agree with murder for hire, I understand where Vlad is coming from. But when you take such a strong position like that on your platform, now when your friend, Big U, gets indicted and they got the murder on him of a little kid, and now you're quiet because Big U's your buddy, or you fear whatever the case, but now you're quiet. You don't got that same energy from the taking of alleged innocent lives or lives that shouldn't be taken over BS, right? It's impossible right now for Vlad to keep that same energy. That's why when they do their all podcast together and all that, when they form up like Voltron, he's sitting there quiet. And when he does his one-on-ones now with Adam 22, he don't got much to say. He don't got much to add. He can't keep that energy. He can't be, as direct about, let's just look at the details in front of us as it pertains to Big U. But he damn sure took a strong stance against Lil Durk, right? And that's what happens. That's what happens when you personalize it as well. And I don't know none of these niggas. So none of this shit is personalized for me. All right, Shannon Sharpe. Let's stay on the chessboard, people. Y'all see the bold letters on the thumbnail, right? Okay. Who's tricking who in these situations? So Shannon Sharpe's our accuser won't release key evidence, sex video lawyer says. All right, the lawyer representing the woman accusing Shannon Sharpe of R will not be releasing the video that allegedly depicts the two engaging in sex, calling it key evidence in their case against the former NFL star. Tony Buzbee tells TMZ Sports he and his client, who filed a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe earlier this month for SZA, using a pseudonym Jane Doe, have zero plans right now to put the footage out to the media. Okay. The only reason you know about the existence of the video recording is that Mr. Sharpe specifically referenced it in his bullshit statement, Buzbee said. The contents of the video was shared during the mediation process with Sharpe's attorney. Again, Sharpe and his team disclosed that, not us. Sharpe himself was offered on more than one occasion to view it himself. He declined. We've never made any claims or threats about it and won't do so. And no, he added, we won't be releasing this video as it's key evidence in the case and will be treated as such. Okay, so who's tricking us here? You know who wins this one to me? Right there? Tony Buzbee. Another win for him. He was in my recycle bin. After the Jay-Z shit, he's lawyering right now. Everything that I've seen thus far in this Shannon Sharpe situation, Tony Buzbee is lawyering. I ain't gonna lie. He is lawyering, y'all. Let's go to the piece of him saying, when we was in mediation, before this went public, and before we said, no, you know what? Keep the 10 million. We're gonna go file for 50. Before they even got to that, he's stating on the record, we showed it to his lawyer. Is it the same lawyer that we looked at the other day? Like, I don't know if you're making the best moves, buddy. Maybe decent moves, but for Shannon Sharpe in particular, maybe not the greatest moves. When we looked at that lawyer has been under question already across the whole public internet as far as his decisions and his tactics. Is that the same lawyer that saw the video in mediation? That is good information to know. So Tony's side is saying, plaintiff side is saying, we showed it to the lawyer and we offered for Shannon to see it and he declined. Now, let's say that's true. Me personally, I know sometimes when I don't want to see some shit, yet I know about it and I'm involved, it's like, nah, I'm going. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? But Shannon Sharpe also, you're giving up some of your grounds there over this footage with the plaintiff by doing that public statement when he says the words, I believe they're going to release a 30-second clip. That video should be about 10 or 11 minutes. So if you're going to release it, release the full thing. I would release it myself, but I don't have it in my possession. So if you don't have it in your possession and they're stating that you were offered to see it and you never saw it, and let's throw in a third one, just in case. If the lawyer that's representing you now isn't the person that saw the video footage in negotiations, you are taking an L here over this footage, even not being released. Because you want to know what initially is the thought. And Shannon his side thought it as well. They're going to release it. I'm going to be damned over it. It's going to come out looking like the Cassie situation. But if you get ahead of that, the altering of footage or even lacking of the context of the footage, which is what Shannon tried to get in front of, right? That could be a curveball that the plaintiff could face. Why'd you put out only 30 seconds? They don't want to put out only 30 seconds. Maybe the 30 seconds is what's damning, right? But if they put it out either way, you're allowing them to get in front of it. You're allowing them to use that in their defense. You're allowing possibly angles against y'all for defamation. There's all types of but for Tony Buzbee to hold it, you take that stuff off the table. Then you even leave Shannon and possibly this particular lawyer that's defending him that much more in the dark. And the more you're left in the dark, the more you're going to question yourself leading up to trial. Because at the end of the day, you're still walking around not knowing exactly the power of what they have. And when you will find out, it's too late. Because now you're right there in front of what I believe they're calling for a jury trial on this. If it goes to trial, by the time you get to see it, the jury gets to see it, right? Unless, does this go through discovery? No, Tony Buzbee is saying, we'll divulge this at trial. Unless there's process where they get to view it prior, right? It's not like a face your accuser thing, no, right? The people that's in the video is supposed to be the plaintiff and the defendant directly, Shannon and Shorty. So I don't know about that. If you don't know what's on it, well, if you could assume you know what's on it, but you can't see it yourself. Everybody knows it's night and day when you see something. You can't see it yourself. That's a trump card. I know I don't got the big joker, I don't think my partner got the big joker. One of these motherfuckers might got the big joker. I'm talking spades, y'all. One of these motherfuckers might got the big joker. You get killed in spades for making a wrong. Go ahead, renege on the wrong partner. You get your ass. Yo, that's not good, Shannon. That's not good. Them saying, no, 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 we're not putting it out. We good. We ain't give you none of them accusations on us, and we ain't giving you none of that viewership into building your defense. Nah, we good. We'll see you at trial with it. Okay. Okay. You see Diddy's fighting to get that footage taken out, right? They don't want Shannon to have the same opportunity. Speaking of Shannon Sharpe, though, what's Stephen A talking about? What's he on?
Can we help you get back past this? All of that comes with friendship. And I think that true friends conduct themselves that way. They ain't yes people that tell you just what you want to hear. They ain't no people that's willing to vilify you to second something. I mean, I see cats talking about him, and I can't even put into words the shit I've seen them do and heard about them doing, especially in our business. And so it's like you just, and then I see the zest with which people are willing to pounce on him. And it's like, listen, people have been after him since he did Cat Williams. You know, they've been at his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride that wave. Now, once again, that's separate and apart from all of this. We get that part. I'm not talking about what people are talking about and what they have to talk about. I'm talking about the zest with which they do it. If I sit up there and I'm friends with Big Boy, I'm a contemporary colleague with Big Boy, right? And then Big Boy get in trouble. It's one thing for me to be on the air and going like this, yeah, you know, I mean, this is what happened to Big Boy. And it's another thing in time, you'd be like, yeah, you see what happened to Big Boy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you just see that and you see a joy that some people are having in going at him. And that's sad. You can talk about it, but we know the difference in terms of the flavor that you're bringing to an equation where you're talking about somebody with glee and joy in your voice when, you know, when you're talking about the kind of predicament they find themselves in. And that's what I have a problem with. So for me, it's just about making sure that he knows, and anybody that knows how I feel knows that he matters to me, and I want him to be okay.
Man, thank you for sharing that.
Can we help you get?
Okay. All right. So I did see the conspiracy. Some of us have seen it, that Shannon Sharpe is being attacked right now because of that Cat Williams interview. Because Cat Williams exposed so many people and so much of the industry, and so much has happened behind that, even stuff that we don't know about. So getting retribution on Shannon Sharpe for hosting that and putting it out is payback, or a further warning to other people. Don't put stuff like that exposes us all in the industry on a big platform. So any of you podcasters going forward, if you want another Cat Williams interview, be mindful. We'll get you the same way we got Shannon Sharpe. Yeah, I saw that conspiracy. I'm good on the conspiracy of that, you know. like it's no different than people, hey, Shaq orchestrated this. Nobody was there with this girl, allegedly Gabriella Zaninga and Shannon Sharpe, when he walked up on her allegedly in the gym, as per the documentation, the court papers, and approached her and engaged her and offered to, hey, whoever slims out first, I'll buy you some fake titties, and let's meet up and sign this NDA and let's hang out and let's move to Nevada together. And nobody orchestrated all that. Okay. Those two people orchestrated those things. And what happened between them happened between them. Okay. So because conspiracy aside, you know, when you say people that are gleeful in this moment, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has competitors that are happy. You know, competitors of me in the RBE space. If I retire, there's a couple people that might be a little bit happy about that, right? It's just what, come on, this goes with the territory. So Shannon's got competitors. He's also got people that he doesn't get along with. He also got people that don't like him. He might have stepped on a toe or two. Yes. So you're going to get some of that back now when you're taking this hit and you're in the middle of all of this. But Stephen A, that has nothing to do with him to me. Stephen A, yes, in this interview to a degree is sticking up for Shannon, trying to be a friend to a degree. That was never his intention though. Stephen A's initial addressing of it, and even his second one, we saw through it. It wasn't about let me protect my friend, let me help my friend, and it wasn't on the other side. Let me bash this guy that I called a friend once upon a time. It was about protecting himself and protecting his bosses. That's it. Okay. So I don't expect Stephen A. Smith to burn that bridge. You don't dance on graves like that too early. Shannon Sharpe is still on his podcast with Ocho Cinco. It's still a big platform. He's going to get controversial views. People just want to keep an eye on him. You never know how this case goes. Will he win it? Will he lose it? Will some wild stuff about Gabrielle Zaninga come out? Will she get exposed for? I mean, you just never know. You don't dance on that grave too early. But at the same time, Stephen A. Smith clearly is tricking us by tactically dancing around this situation. And he should, right? Because at no matter how close I am to you, if you get caught up on some SA charges, right? I got to navigate that in a way where I got to be real to myself, real to the people in my circle as well. Like if I have a family, I can't just jump out the window and overprotect you, and you got this SA stuff on you. When they walk up on French Montana in the airport and say, "What's up with Diddy?" What does he do? He turns around and walks away. Right now is not the time for everybody to say, "Oh, who Diddy?" Nah, he's 100% innocent, and it's not their time to say he's 100% guilty either. They walk away. They're navigating it. Let's see how this plays out. And Stephen A. Smith is no different. Okay, y'all can't trick us, B. Y'all really can't. Y'all really can't. What's up with Fat Joe? Um, wow. Let's read it because there's a lot of context to this. Is it extortion? Is he wrapped up in something? These are not good allegations, but these days, it's rampant. And one thing I hope the music industry, Hollywood, and even general society doesn't get numb to is pedo allegations. If they just keep happening left to right, left, and SA allegations. He SA'd me, she SA'd me, they SA'd me. This happened to me over here. This is a pedal, that's a pedal. You get a pedal, he get a pedal, Jake is a, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get desensitized to the shit. Some of us already are. But let's see if this has legs. Fat Joe says he's being extorted for 20 million by his ex hype man and lawyer suing Diddy. Okay. Fat Joe filed a suit against his former hype man and attorney, also suing Diddy and Nicki Minaj, accusing them of trying to extort him with false claims. What's Nicki Minaj being sued over? Okay. Fat Joe filed a lawsuit in New York federal court accusing his former hype man, Terrence Dixon, of Dixon's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, and defamation and an attempted extortion scheme involving disturbing allegations and public threats. Okay. The hip hop veteran claims the duo tried to pressure him into a payout by threatening to go public with what he calls false and outrageous allegations. Sounds like Jay-Z. Or what Jay-Z went through, including statutory awe, sex trafficking, and forced labor. Well, no, he didn't have all of those, but the legal complaint also accuses Dixon and Blackburn of intentionally causing emotional distress and launching a smear campaign to damage his reputation. According to court documents, the conflict began on March 23rd, 2025, when Dixon and Blackburn sent a letter demanding financial compensation. The pair claimed that Dixon had worked as an uncredited ghostwriter and a vocalist on several tracks during his professional relationship with Fat Joe, which spanned from 2006 to 2019. That's a long relationship. That's over 10 years, 13 years. Fat Joe's legal team says no such claims were ever raised during that time. When the rapper didn't respond, the pressure escalated. On April 21st, a second letter arrived threatening a lawsuit with sordid, whatever word that is, claims unless Fat Joe settled for 20 million. Y'all think Joe just got a settlement 20 million laying around like that? I don't know. Really? Or is this a case of starting high and settling somewhere beneath? Wow. All right. I mean, that's a big number. I just don't see, like looking at Fat Joe and saying, Yeah, settle with me for a quick 20, as if it's like that's easy. Like if you think you got a solid case and you think that the person should settle with you, um, you probably also want to go for a number that you think is feasible where don't need, like you say, these are multiple letters before anything went into the courts. You know what I'm saying? If you think he's worth 5 million and then you ask him for 20 million, and I'm not talking about you suing him for 20 million. This is a letter requesting 20 million. Do you think you thought that Fat Joe just had that laying around for you? Okay. Oh wait, threatening a lawsuit, threatening. So that's not even at the legal level yet. It's just a letter. It's like a cease and desist. It's just a letter. All right. Shortly after, Dixon posted on social media accusing Fat Joe of flying a 16-year-old girl across state lines for sex. The post included a photo of Fat Joe alongside Diddy and DJ Khaled. So this is the post allegedly that was put up. And look at the caption: Little Joey Cap doing his pedo dance. He's diving looking for little girls. Fat Joe, you a sucker. If you are having a lawyer hit Fat Joe up for settlements on multiple occasions, you stay with that. If you've already called the lawyer, stay legal. What makes you then go to Instagram and post something calling him a sucker and then all it is? Like, who's advising you? Your attorney thinks that the outing, maybe you thought that this would pressure him further. No, instead, what it did was it made him strike first. I've seen that before too. I've seen that in battle rap where, there's rumors behind the scenes of alleged people that continued to do harmful and illegal practices, allegedly. And multiple league owners began to discuss taking action against that. And some believe that, when those rumors go around, sometimes it comes down to who just wants to strike first, who's going to call the lawyer first, right? So I've seen stuff like that happen. These allegations are completely false and part of a criminal conspiracy orchestrated between a disgruntled former hype man and his attorney, Fat Joe said. These two individuals have been scheming together to extort me with their elaborate and ludicrous demands changing by the day. The relentless threats, harassment, and defamation I've endured as they peddle salacious lies are utterly deplorable. I'm taking legal action to expose their misconduct, and I'm fully confident that the facts will reveal this is nothing more than a deceptive and desperate scam. All right. So I would say Fat Joe clearly is trying to get ahead of this. I mean, he didn't respond, so it says, the article says, to the first letter. By the time they got the second one and then the post on IG, Fat Joe walked into court for defamation. So you're getting ahead of it a little late in the race, but to a degree still you're ahead of the other side. You filed before them, right? And then you get to also claim extortion. I mean, you could have claimed extortion even if they went first, but still, I think what this is going to boil down to is the details still. Because if you're going at him saying that prostitute or this and SA and you cross state lines or whatever and sex trafficking, and they say a 16-year-old, 16, yeah, right here. If I browse to it, shortly after Dixon posted on social media accusing Fat Joe of flying a 16-year-old girl across state lines for sex. So yeah, you don't put that on somebody's jacket without proof. But that right there, I mean, if that was proven by the other side, you got to go full throttle with it right now, because Fat Joe is saying, "Oh no. I'm not allowing you to say these things publicly, and I'm no longer allowing you to send me any more letters talking about send me 20 million or else. I'm stopping all of this right now. I'm going to court." Fat Joe had to go to court. When I first saw the headline without all the context, and I didn't read the article initially, just saw the headline. You know what I thought? I was just like, is somebody messing around on the internet with Fat Joe and he called the lawyer and said, "I'm suing for defamation"? I was just like, yeah, I want the details, man, because of these artists being trained at this point to just sue for defamation if people are saying things about them as just taking a strong stance early on the way Jay-Z did. Is that what's happening? I was watching that to see if that's the new, not trend, but just a new understanding of if you're a celebrity. Somebody says this about you, it's not nice. you'll be the next Tasha K. I'm suing you. Right? But that's not this. That's not this. This is people saying, yo, Joe, I got an issue with you. And he ignored it. Hey, Joe, I'm back again. I got an issue with you. I want 20 million. And I don't know if that was ignored. But then, all right, bet. I'm going to post this. Hey, you were sucking this and that. And you and Diddy and blah, blah, blah. And you and DJ Khaled all y'all together and 16-year-old. And Fat Joe sees that's, no. I'm going to court. So it's not even that. He had to do this, I think. Especially in today's age with all this essay stuff that's going around. So, all right, we'll keep an eye on it. I don't want to believe that Fat Joe's flying in 16-year-olds and nothing like that. And benefit of the doubt would be if you fly in a 16-year-old, it's by accident. I mean, I hope we got to go back to the old days. When I say old days, it's because it's nothing new. The checking of IDs, celebrities, people, men, women too. We got to go back to those days, man. The checking of IDs. All right. If you catch a man up, and he's 28 years old, and the girl that he just took down was 15, you know what I'd rather hear from him? She showed me a fake ID. I'd rather hear that. How do you not give that that's got to be like you got tricked. I think that's doing due diligence and being responsible. That's old school shit. What's your ID? R. Kelly got songs about it, right? He got performances about it. Show me your ID. How old are you in performances? I'll bring you back with me overseas and all that. Show me how old you are. Age and he did the age and number, but still, like there's a lot of songs about show me how old you are. People got to go back to those days. It's sensitive outside, man. And it's not just about making the mistake yourself as a man, but you also got the traps. Right? I think some of these little girls will love to be around these celebrities, get involved with you, and then get you caught up for a couple million. It's like the win across the board. So, yeah, got to go back to the checking of IDs, man. Sad, but all right, let me go to the Kendrick show. I still got one more topic after this. Let me go to Kendrick show. I'm not gonna make it too long. So I went to the Kendrick show last night. I have a little bit of footage on my Instagram. Actually, I got a bunch of footage. I don't know how much of it I could play without getting slapped by YouTube. We'll try some of it. Cut dope business. You got shit twisted. Ooh. I had great seats right there on the floor. Yeah. The pyrotechnics in the building was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. They spent a bunch of money on flames and sparks, and it's July 4th in there a lot of the night. I ain't gonna lie to you. The way they creatively used the screens in there, the production of this show, look at all these bots. Like I said, I was one of them. I was a bot, I guess. My bad, y'all. I was a bot. But it was up. The screens was crazy. Yeah. All right. What else we got? Food stamp coupon screen. They got creative at times. I ain't gonna lie. They did. What else we got? All right, let me be careful with the music. If anybody that's seeing the attachments, like the ropes that they're tied to, it's because they're now about to go up on the platforms, and the engineers or the stage workers, whatever, come out real quick, clip the belts on them and say, oh, no, you ain't falling off this shit on my watch at the Mercedes-Benz arena. Mercedes-Benz, hell no. Yeah, you want to do a little cute show, and you want to have these platforms where you guys do your song together and go up in the air and make the crowd go, that's great. This fucking belt on. I don't need you doing your little NFL shuffle and then take your ass off. How many times have we seen artists fall off the stage? You fall off the stage. Somebody's got sued by falling off the stage before. Be clear. The venues be having all types of liability and insurances, but they clip fucking belts on their ass and say, hell no. Before you go an inch in the air, wear this. I wanna be with you, and I wanna be with. I wanna be with you, and I wanna be with. One of my favorite joints off that album. If I didn't rock on one plane, that you still love me. That's the joint right there. But not the sets that they did together, a lot of chemistry. Hold on, see some.
This is your deposition I'm taking. Yeah. You arrest me?
So I saw one deposition that might have felt new. I didn't see on the internet, when he was trolling, and y'all correct me if y'all seen it, when he was trolling the person that was deposing him or the opposing attorney about if he wanted something to eat. You want something to eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want? I'm gonna order me. And the guy's trying to ask him legal based questions. He's like, what you want, a wing, a thigh? I'm about to put this order in, man. You breast man or thigh guy? You're like you're a breast man or you're ass man? Like, he's trolling him. He's trolling the guys deposing him. It was funny as shit though, but peekaboo. Yeah, peekaboo was kind of crazy. And as they was introing it, he had this eye that kept popping up on a big screen like peekaboo, right? It was like some spooky little, whoa, what are you doing? Like, is this a nightmare moment or what? Like, chill out. I'm here for music. I'll give you a little bit more breakdown of this. Like, hold on, let's go through the footage. Yeah, they ran the whole stage. Let me see if there's anything else that is real relevant. Oh, this, I'll give y'all this one. Yeah, Playboy Cardi came out. Yeah, and they did good credit. That right there, that sent us through the roof. Everybody was going crazy in there. They could have turned that whole Mercedes-Benz arena into a mosh pit for this. Yeah, good credit. I need to hear good credit in the club now. I've never been to a club at a time of hearing good credit yet. Just to feel the energy of good credit in a concert. You guys go to my gram. You can hear the audio with this, and you can hear the crowd and everything. Go play it on my gram. I can't play it here because YouTube might have an issue. But yo, they went. This right here was crazy, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you about that good credit. Which one was this? I don't know. That's what my homegirl told me. Telephone game. Okay. Yeah, bitch. My foot up on the gas. All right. I'll let y'all go over to the IG for the rest of them. I got like 14 videos up for y'all, and you can play all the audio and all that. Yeah, I mean, at this point, some of us are trolling about being bots, right? Like all this attempts of, hey, it was dead in the Super Bowl. Well, I was there too. And no, it wasn't. Oh, his concerts are dead. Well, I was there too. And no, it wasn't. Now, when I did get there, I pulled some funny shit. Keep it so real with y'all. When I bought my tickets online, when they first went on sale, I was early because in my mind, this is going to sell out. This is Kendrick, and he's got this huge wave right now. Get these tickets now. Don't sit, don't wait. And I forgot the layout of Mercedes-Benz Arena versus what I was paying, and the view of like the description of it, like the mezzanine description. Sometimes that falls nice based on how the stage is built, and you get a nice view into and the price of it. I feel like I paid like the ticket that I got was probably like maybe like 500, right? At first. So I got there last night, go to our seats, and they're not nosebleeds. They're good seats, but it's just like, oh, this isn't what I was really coming for. Like it was it was section 239, right? And I was just like, no. I'm a humble guy, but this wasn't what I was intending. So I went to guest services because when I looked down, the stage is built like almost in a diamond, right? So there's times where when you see him close to me, that's because I'm on that side, and then he could walk to the front and then around the back and then to the other side, and that's when you see him in any of my footage where he's further from me, or SZA, right? Because it's like a diamond, and in the middle of the diamond, that's called like the energy, the energy floor, It's just no seats. It's just standing room in the middle of the diamond. So like a pit. So you just look up and they're performing right there. So I went to guest services and I was just like, is there any energy floor tickets that I could buy from you right now? And she looked at me like, what? Who are you? Like, what do you like? She's like, I don't know. Like, I don't sell tickets here. You got to go on Ticketmaster. So I was just like, all right, I got it. Cool. I went back to my seat. I got there at 7. It was posted online to start at 7. So I got there at 7. Almost the whole arena was like almost 20% full when I got there, and the ticket said 7. So by like 7:15, I'm looking around and I'm just like, yo, this shit is dead. Now there's thousands and thousands of people outside in the hallways. I know it's gonna fill up. I just don't know how much. So I'm on Ticketmaster and I'm looking for tickets that's on the floor. I was just like, yeah, what I thought I was getting online, I fucked up. It's a waste of money now. I just left 2 dead seats there. But I found floor seats right here that was still available. So number one, that scared me as well because I was just like, damn, I could get seats right now, still on the floor. Is this shit gonna fill up? You know? But aside from that, I'm here for my own enjoyment. So yeah, let me buy these tickets online. Let me get my ass down there. So got some tickets, came to like 14 on the spot, right? Jumped down there. Now I'm on the floor. Now I'm right here by the stage. Okay, now I'm finna enjoy this show. Now I'm gonna have a great time. I would have enjoyed it anyway, humbly speaking. But this is what I thought I was paying for initially. So all right, let's make the move. So now we're on the floor. And one thing I noticed, actually, let me tell you this real quick. When I went to my seats, there was 2 girls already there. And I'm just like, yo, see my ticket right here? And they was just like, oh yeah, we have tickets, but we're just sitting here for the moment. So, oh, but now we got, and then they got up and they went, which made me tell myself, like, there's people that's in here. You got to at least have tickets to be on the floor and have a wristband to be on the floor. Right. But there's people in here with, like, I guess, worse floor tickets, and they're watching on Ticketmaster to see what hasn't sold yet. And then they're just sitting there. Right. Cool little hustle. It works. It just so happens that I'm in the building and I bought them. Now, it was sold out. It was a sold out show. And this is the thing that we forget. If it's sold out ARP, how the fuck did you buy tickets on the spot to move all the way down right next to the stage? Because it's resale, people. Okay. Kendrick is that hot. On Ticketmaster itself, my ticket said resale. It said resale. The very ticket I was purchasing. All right. People buy their tickets to go and to be there. People also look at this as a hot thing. It's no different. Christmas time come around, new PS5 drops. You got people in the world going to buy 10 of them and put 10 of them on eBay for you. Jordans, Kendrick tickets, same thing. So it was sold out, right? And people are buying those tickets early on as well in an attempt to just cash in on them because everybody knows that people are going to buy these shits. Hell, I was one of them. I thought that the show was going to be so good. I left tickets alone that cost me, when I bought them too early, right? When prices were up, that was a waste of money. And I still bought that much to come sit on the floor. So that's why it's sold out. Now, when the show starts and you can see in my footage and I look around, yeah, packed house. I don't see these empty seats anymore. Packed fucking house. Okay. The energy. I don't know. When people say, how come I don't hear people are cheering or singing or screaming along? Have you been to concerts before? I've been to a billion concerts. People are there because they want to be there to begin with. That's the win. So I don't care if it's Drake. I don't care if it's Kendrick. Don't hate, right? So sometimes people's favorite song could be playing and they just want to record it or they just want to see it. Some people are in awe. Some people are jumping around. Some people are singing along. Some people are chilling. Some people are tired because the set was 2+ hours. Literally, this was 2+ hours. You got all different types of reactions in there, but everybody that's there wants to be there, you know? So there's some of the biggest crash your eardrums moments was Not Like Us, of course. Euphoria, his Luther was huge. Good Credit was huge. Like That was huge. You had a couple joints off of Damn and Mr. Morale that everybody just went through the roof for. A lot of the songs, now that I think, it's just so many of his catalog, so much of his catalog just had people at times where they was more chill and other times where they were losing their fucking minds. It's like any other concert. I don't know what you guys are looking for. People are overdoing it because of the Drake and Kendrick beef. This, if I had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, this show was a 8-8. It's a great score. I want to give it a 9, but I've been to so many shows that I'm not the guy that's just like a 9 or a 10. I've been to a million shows. This is an 8-8, which is great. Great stage presence, the chemistry, the flowing of the chapters. So now I understand when we saw that online, you know, Kendrick comes out, then he goes away, and SZA comes out, then she goes away, then Kendrick comes back out, then he, and they go back and forth, but the transitions that they do are sometimes songs together as one transitions in and one transitions out. So it flows perfect. And they definitely come together and close out with songs like Luther and Gloria. I think Gloria was the last song that they performed. When they did Gloria, they had already thanked the crowd for coming out and everything. And I started to walk. I was like, yo, the better the seats are, the tougher to let out. Towards the call. All right. When he thanked the crowd and then they did Gloria, I was like, yep, it's over. It's time to go. It's time to walk. It's time to walk, man. I'm not trying to spend an hour in this let out. So it was a 2+ hour show. I'm not here to rank them against each other because it's two people that are dominating these arenas right now. But I think it's like a 65-ish people are here for Kendrick. Maybe even, I don't want to say 70, because when SZA was going and some of the guys were even sitting down to take a break because it's 2+ hours, like, let me sit down for a second. I can just watch this on the screen now. You know, I did that a couple times. I was getting tired. And I look around, SZA's a pop star, man. All these little young girls in there and whatnot. Like, SZA is a pop star. So SZA was killing, and they are there for her. I don't want to have this misconstrued at all, but you could feel the difference between when SZA is out versus when Kendrick is out. That's what I'll say. Performance-wise, Kendrick is stellar. He's getting a lot of rest before these shows because that diamond. And me being on one of the, I'm on the right side of the diamond. Like I said, he's working the whole thing the whole night. He's working the whole thing. And then the back part of the stage is where you got a lot of the choreographed dancing and more that type of performance that's going on, and some of the stage setup and the props, like the car, when the GNX car comes out, that's not in the diamond. That's on the back part of the big stage where the screens are aligned and shit. So he's working throughout all of that. And behind the screens, when they open up, there's a staircase, and there's certain songs that he's performing on a staircase, and the choreographed dancers are performing with him there, just like on a Super Bowl, you know. So it's a big set. It's a lot of choreographed dancing and a lot of chemistry between move here, move this, do this, be over here during this time. Don't stand in front of the stage or else you're gonna get burned by the pyros. Like, it's a lot, and I really want to say 230, but it might fell somewhere in the middle. Might have been 215, 220-ish. Like, yeah, of how long that show was. This is why I don't even know why I'm on stream right now, man. I'm so lacking sleep right now. But I'm gonna give it an 8-8. It was a great show, people. If you have an opportunity to go grab some tickets, please do. Please do. You're gonna get your money's worth, man. I bought 2 tickets in 2 different places, and I still got my money's worth. I ain't gonna lie. All right. So if you want to hear some more audio from those clips and get a little bit more of a closer up look, I got one more video that I'm gonna put up too, or two or three more videos I'm gonna put up too. It's just I put so many up yesterday. I was just like, I think it stopped me. I think it gave me a limit. But I got a couple more that I'm gonna put up. All right. This one, I don't think that this is going to remain big news, but I do want to bring it into the cycle for us, and we'll keep an eye on it. Misa Hylton says Mary J. Blige sabotaged rapper Vado's deal. Mary J. Blige is facing a $5 million lawsuit in New York from stylist Misa Hylton and her talent agency, Misa Management, over claims the Grammy Award-winning singer sabotaged their business relationship with rapper Vado. Blige is accused of withholding Vado's completed album to pressure him into cutting ties with Hylton, a longtime associate and R&B singer, former stylist. Hylton and Vado accused Blige. Oh, and Vado. So Vado's accusing Blige as well. I didn't know that. Okay. Hylton and Vado accused Blige and her company, Beautiful Life Productions, of interfering with a signed management agreement between Vado and Misa, which entitled the agency to 20% of the rapper's earnings. Interesting. Interesting. So I did play a clip of this yesterday, and I think on was it the breakfast? I heard somebody say, or was it this morning? Somebody saying, you know, allegedly, Mary J. Blige was at like a party or is like trying to push Vado into, you know, moving out of contractual obligations with Misa, right? Allegedly. I think that's some of the overtone that I heard. Which I personally have a problem with, to be honest. I've never done that. I've never tried to tell somebody to get out of a contract. I think that's dirty and foul play, and in certain regards it can be illegal, right? Um but if they both have rights to Vado, I want to see how that plays out in court from different management versus, record deal or signing of artist wise and rights. Like there's going to be more details to this. If it gets more legs, we'll keep an eye on it. Checks and balances, let's definitely keep an eye on this. Um, I don't know. It's I think what catches a couple people, and it's no disrespect to Vado, but it just feels like who are we really fighting over? Like is who out here is saying, "Oh my God, somebody's holding up Vado's album"? Now I fuck with Vado's album. What was it? Slime Life? Is that the album? I got his EPs. I got his joint. Was it Bread and Butter? All right. Oh no, not Bread and Butter. Guns and Butter. They took that from the Baby Boy shit, right? Yeah, I think it's Guns and Butter. Him and Cameron's dual album, not dual album, duo album, whatever. Them together. I got that. I got Vado's mixtapes. Like I fuck with Vado. Vado's a dope rapper, but he's just not in demand. Okay. Like if we correlated this to battle rap, we would say he's a mid-tier rapper, right? He's not a top-tier rapper. He's not a GOAT type rapper. He's not a high demand ticket selling, super selling out. He's not that. So if we're fussing and fueling over 5 million, remember this too legally, people. People could say whatever numbers that they want. When you get to the legal standpoint, not only do you have points in it where you could bring in experts to review and go over, actual dollar amounts and whatnot, but you can't just walk into court and say, "Hey, judge, I want 5 million because this is what happened with me and Vado." You have to show. It's like what Jay-Z is put on the table and showing deals that value up to like 20 million that he alleged that he lost in the midst of his allegations from Tony Buzbee. Right? You can't just make up number. It doesn't work that way. Anybody thinks I'm just going to walk into court and say he's worth 20 million, I want 10. It doesn't work that way. Because when Dame Dash shows up and he starts saying that everybody thinks I'm worth 10 million, right? But look at this. My mortgage is overdue. I'm hypothetically. Look at this. I got debt here. I got this there. Here's my savings account. I don't got no money here. Here's my checking account. Here's my business account. Ain't no money over there. All that money over there is gone. But you can't get blood from a stone. That's number one. That's why it's not even worth suing sometimes based on what the legal fees actually cost. And number two, proving your damages and then what the actual damages are still go hand in hand. So when you're Tony Buzbee with Gabriella Zaninga, you might want to say doxing, mental distress, displacement. I have to move and change locations. Not just because of Shannon ran me out of Nevada, allegedly. I'm just saying he ran me out of Nevada out of fear. And then when he said my name, even though I was supposed to be a Jane Doe, then I had to move again because now I'm getting targeted. I lost my OnlyFans because people are now. So that's money that I lost. I need to be paid for that. But all of this stuff before we even get to the SA stuff, right? So this is showing damages. And I just don't know how much damages you show with a Vado or prove out with a Vado. If he's worth $5 million as far as this dispute, then so be it. I just don't see that right now. I don't see it. Like if I go to Vado's Instagram right now, what's the last show that he did? Is it a concert? Is it a big arena? Did he open up for a big artist? What's the capacity of the place? I used to do that even when I was specking out Vado MH, bringing celebrities into battle rap. What me and Shata would do is we would go to your Instagram Like I did this with no bullshit. I did this with Crooked Eye. When me and Crooked Eye was talking about him coming to RBE, what me and Shot did was we went to Crooked Eye's Instagram and we was looking at his recent shows. Like if he put up a flyer saying I'm performing here on Friday night, what me and Shot did, we would take that flyer, we would take the address off the flyer, we would Google it, we would see the capacity of the venue, basically showing us how many tickets are you selling right now. So if I go down the last 6 months of your Instagram, and I can kind of correlate that from the music world or the music industry, you're pulling maybe $5,000, $10,000 per engagement. And then somebody just feels like, well, in battle rap, you guys don't know nothing about nothing. Or I saw what Max Out looked like. I want to charge you $500,000. Me and Shot to go, we do our homework for real. Like, no. And I'm not saying that was the case with Crook. I'm just giving an example of the type of homework that we really do or really did. But if I look at Vado's gram, I'm trying to see performances. I see some video promotion stuff going on or flyers. Let me see if I see any flyers. And just because you're not doing shows, once again, doesn't mean that you're not worth $5 million. This isn't a shot at Vado. I'm just looking at this from multiple lenses. I don't know. Maybe I will stay closer for that aspect. I think that's interesting within itself. But when it comes to stepping on contracts, right? I did see this this just happened to come out the other day. Shout out to Geechee Gotti, man. Listen to what Geechee just said in this interview.
So the other part of my question is two parts. Yeah. And one is, has that ever happened to you? Has somebody put in their contract or told you not to talk about this? And have you ever said, I don't want you to talk about this?
I never had nothing I don't want a nigga to talk about. The only time somebody ever told me they didn't want me to talk about something, and he said it before, so I can say it here, was Math, his brother passed. And before and I think this was before we even battled, we were supposed to battle on RBE, and in the part of the contract, he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of the more disrespectful battlers, so he like, I don't care what you say, my bro just passed, I just don't want no bars about, and I respected that because I can understand that now. If it's something like that, I definitely.
You know who else has that contract, right? Me. You guys need any more context just in case? All right. In case you don't follow battle rap too tough. The context to that is the battle rapper Bad News, who had recently had snitch allegations on him because of paperwork that came out, right? He had a battle that was coming up after that versus A-Ward. And Bad News was saying in interviews that anybody that tries to use the snitch angle against me during their performance, I'm going to mess the money up, meaning that he might pop on them, right? So now here's 15 Minutes of Fame. That's an interesting topic, and they're asking artists' opinion about that. Geechee Gotti, they happen to ask about that. And they asked him, have you ever been in a situation like that where somebody might put things that they don't want to be said on stage during their performance in a contract? And Geechee said, yeah, I had that in one of my contracts. It was the contract when I was supposed to battle Math Hoffa on RBE. Now, most of us know that Math Hoffa versus Geechee actually did happen, but it didn't happen on RBE. Right? So shout out to Geechee. Fun stream, everybody. I gotta find a moment during the day to try to take a nap because, like I said, I'm running on like 3 or 4 hours of sleep after going to the tour last night. But I'm here to work with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all passing through. And I will see y'all back again 6 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. I got y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I drop it connected to block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of and shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.